So Oliver Ekman Larsson, you all know him, you all love him. Hopefully, I know I sure love him. Captain of the Arizona Coyotes, my second favorite hockey team. I'll be right back. I actually have something pretty sick to show you guys. Cheetah Coyote hat, baby, and I'm gonna put it on right now for this video over the night hat. But Oliver Ekman Larsson is just such an excellent player. I mean, he has been for the past 10 years, and really, he hasn't looked like an excellent player the past two. He has a cap hit of $8.25 million until 2026-27, and that is about 6 years away. Sorry, my bad. I get bad with math. And really, this guy has slowed down considerably over the past couple of years, and I'm going to hop into the stats right now. I mean, just looking at it, like 1920, he had 30 points. You know, that's still good in a 66-game span, but the defense just was not there. Oliver Ekman Larsson just did not look like himself. I mean, literally, I know Oliver Ekman Larsson hasn't really been known as a great defensive player at times, but like really it just was not there. And the -3 is really misleading because of, you know, the offense for Arizona, the kind of style of game they play. But this year everything came out and everything bled out. In 46 games, Ekman Larsson had 24 points, which is still good offensive production. I do believe that Ekman Larsson can put up 40 points a season from here on out. But I just think that a lot of his play, the numbers are really misleading. You really do have to watch him play to know really the mistakes that he makes. And there is a lot of offensive mistakes, a lot of defensive mistakes, and just really not a lot of things that I was impressed with this year. I mean, you go back to his, 2018-19 campaign where he had 44 points, excellent player, really showed why he was, the captain of the Coyotes. The year before that, 17-18, 42 points. And these are really bad Coyotes teams, so the plus-minus really is misleading. Again, I can't use the plus-minus here as an example for anything because Ekman Larsson looks like a better player now than he did like 4 years ago on paper, but he really isn't. He just kind of looks like a shell of his former self out there, and like it's really just not good looking for Coyotes fans, and especially that $8.25 million cap hit for the next 5 to 6 seasons. Like, I don't know what the return for Ekman Larsson is going to be this year. I mean, you might be able to get a first out of it. I kind of doubt it, but you're maybe looking at a second, a replacement defenseman, and an okay prospect, is what I would say. And maybe I make a video on Ekman Larsson trade proposals, but I already did one on Seth Jones, and I don't really want to do one on OEL. I just didn't really enjoy making that video, but, I mean, the return for Ekman Larsson is kind of hard to determine because there are a lot of like different kind of assets the teams are going to be willing to give up, and the really big trade destination I think a lot of people have for OEL is the Boston Bruins. And what are they going to be willing to give out for a guy like this? Maybe a first, probably a first, and maybe a guy like Jake Debrusk goes to Arizona. There are a lot of trade talks about Jake Debrusk, so maybe you flip a guy like Ekman Larsson, who is 29, 30 years old at this point, kind of aging on his way out of the NHL in the next few seasons, for a guy who Boston is looking to get rid of, who's, 23, 24 years old. Still has some potential left in there. I mean, he had a almost 30-goal season just a couple of years ago, and if Arizona can spark that potential again, they have a great first-line, second-line player on their hands who they can run on the power play, and really, I think that would be a fair exchange. I mean, I really do feel like if you're going to trade Ekman Larsson to the Bruins, Ekman Larsson for the Debrusk trade is probably what's going to happen. I don't know if Arizona or Boston requests more in that deal. Maybe Arizona requests, a guy like Mike Riley if Boston re-signs him, for instance. And, that's a pretty good replacement for Ekman Larsson, considering Mike Riley was a pretty good offensive defenseman this year for Ottawa and for Boston, and I do believe he has a decent little bit of two-way game in his game, but Ekman Larsson really just did not look good this year. I mean, 3 goals, 24 points, not bad in 46 games at all. That's about 45 points in an 82-game schedule, but it's just not there anymore, and that whole defensive core really does need to be reshaped in Arizona, and I think the first one to go is going to be OEL. Whether he's going to get traded at the draft, whether he's going to get traded once the playoffs are over, or whether he's going to get traded in the offseason, it is going to happen. I mean, the Coyotes came out and said that it's going to happen, and they're going to work with OEL to do that, and it's really unfortunate. I love Ekman Larsson in Arizona. He is the captain after all, and a great one at that, but it is unfortunately his time to give up that role, and really it's time for Arizona to reshape that defensive core and potentially reshape that team. So, yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. Really just my take on the whole Oliver Ekman-Larsson situation right now and kind of what I feel is going to happen. So thank you all so much for watching, and if you enjoyed, please do leave a thumbs up and subscribe. We are on the way. I can't talk. We are on the way to 150 subscribers, and it would mean a great deal to me if you did subscribe. So thank you all so much for watching. Stay classy, folks, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.